Swinging a ground ball, stabbed by Folk. He has it. He underhands to first, and the Boston Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years.
Together they have, and together they stand alone on top of the mountain for now. And once again, the Boston Celtics stand alone for all time. It is banner 18.
No icing. For the first time in 39 years, the Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
And a title for the Patriots!
I can't believe it!
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
Good evening, listeners, and welcome into episode 36 of a New Era podcast. My name is Hanson, better known as Fryddy online, and I am joined by my co-host and father, the OG Frid. Dad, would you like to say hello to the listeners this evening?
Yeah, good evening, all you. I was thinking we got to come up with some type of nickname for our listeners that have listened to us through and through all 36 episodes. I know some of the other podcasts I listen to have something, cute. I was thinking, a newbie, but, we always have new listeners, but we could call them newbies. I like that.
I kind of like that.
Okay. So, yeah, there we go. Welcome all you newbies out there. Thank you for continued support. As mentioned, it's an evening episode because I was out today for a company event out on the golf course and didn't produce much today.
It's fine though. I'll say it was probably the best. It was nice to actually be able to sleep in on a Monday first, but also after, you're watching the game all late last night. A lot of football watching going on yesterday. I was very tired. I could use the extra hour and a half, so started off the week well.
Good.
But we'll get into that.
Glad it worked out for your sleeping habits.
Yeah, man. I literally just had something and I fucking forgot. We'll talk Sox. We'll go straight into it. We'll jump straight into it with the only bad news of the episode. And it is the fact that after the loss to the White Sox yesterday, even with a series win, the Red Sox season is over, Dad. The Red Sox season is over. I think I've finally got to the point we can wave the white flag. It's impressive, man. I won't. We got to September. We got to September 9th before we knew our season was done. And we thought this team, at some point, people were like, they might be fucking 60 and 100 or some shit. 62 and 100. So it's...
Well, we talked about what were we going to do in the month of July with just the Red Sox. We even thought, well, we could take a month off and then do entering into football as our, season 2. So we're going to do season 1, season 2, and look at us. We've had to go 36 weeks because of our Red Sox.
Yeah, fuck, they ruined it. So this would technically be, episode 36, but is this new season?
We haven't had...
We'll decide. Maybe we'll do it at the end of the year. I don't know. Maybe we'll go calendar year now since we had to go through.
I think we have to go calendar year because our Sox did, because we thought about taking a month off. But
they just kept us around.
They just kept us here. Kept us talking. All right. So, yes, we were texting, calling each other during the week. And is their season done? Yes, having that loss last night absolutely killed us, putting us in a group of a bunch of teams. Let me get this right here. At 70, between 73 and 71 and 72 and 71. Obviously, we have a game in hand, but we're 4 games still out of the finals. So now we got to jump the Tigers.
19 to go? Is that the math?
So
143? Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to jump the Twins, Tigers, Mariners all ahead of us.
Now, remember, we did say, now at this point, it would be, I think, the Royals are getting some games up on those Twins. So I think when they play that series, we would need like a Royal sweep to knock down the Twins. But it's just in this, when you're grouping yourself in with the Detroit Tigers. You just know you're not where you want to be. And it was a rough week, man. It was a rough week. I mean, outside of, the first 2 White Sox games, I mean, we got fucking just destroyed this week, I feel like.
Oh, the Mets just handled us.
They gave us an ass whooping.
But, okay. And I hate to keep on doing this. I feel like we can't just call it quits yet. Trevor Story's back. You put Rafaela back out in center field. Absolutely love our outfield to death. And now you have, I think Wilyer Abreu, who your mom consistently thinks looks like you every time he gets up to bat. She's like, oh, that's the one that looks like Hanson. Yeah, so speaking of that, I was thinking maybe you should have, try and grow the hair out in the back and do a little.
No. Well, actually, I don't know. We were watching the games yesterday at the bar. It floated. It floated the idea. It was floating. I couldn't. I don't know. I feel like my hair takes too long. I'd have a weird mullet stage. I don't know. This isn't a mullet podcast, but
no. But going back into now we have again. I love the outfield, so you can have, that combination of O'Neill, Abreu, and Motzi, either DH outfield. Not Motzi's in the outfield, but DH. When you need a right-handed bat, you put O'Neill in for DH or what have you. I like that so much better than having Rob Reschneider, who I know you love, but having him out there as well. But we're going into a gauntlet of a week here.
Mm-hmm.
And if somehow, some way, you can go positive against the Orioles, who's 5.5 above you in the wild card.
Wait.
You could jump right back into this. You could jump right back into it. Yeah.
So I know we've been bad.
Yeah.
Well, they're still 10 up, like on us, or 9.5 technically. But
right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man.
If you sweep them,
which we won't,
but you do, you're 4 back. You sweep. Now you're only a game back. Potentially.
Well, I guess
based on, if one of the other teams doesn't start to get hot, that's above you and then picks up 2 or whatever on you. But funnier things have happened, especially to these Red Sox.
Hey, man, and baseball starts to get wild down there in September. That race for getting in, it starts to get weird. And then if we get through O's and Yanks, Rays, Twins, Blue Jays, Rays. And that's favorable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think ultimately, you're right. I don't think we are saying we think this is where the end point is for the season. We know we've only got 20 days left of the MLB season. But I feel like this week, this last week and a half, has just put us into the position where I don't think it's going to be like us. I think we lost too many games that we shouldn't have, to where now we're really just relying on what happens with other teams. We can try to win our way in there, but we could win the majority of these games to end the season and still be on the outside looking in by half a game at the end of the year. True. Or like a game at the end of the year or something.
But positive so far. I absolutely love the still in the hunt graphic that you had that I saw that the Red Sox were in on ESPN. So you have that. I think the other most important thing is we cannot finish at 500. We have to have a game or 2 over.
Mm-hmm. Even an 82 and 80.
I think a 500, yes, is outstanding. I just don't want the Rays to get hot over these next 2 series that we have with them and then pass us.
Yeah.
If we're 81 and 81 and they're 82 and 80 and then we're the 4th. If we can stay
top 3
at 500 or a little bit above 500 and top 3, it's been a win for the Red Sox this year.
I think even regardless of that, like we've said, at the start, based on the expectations, this is still a good season. We didn't expect this, but if they make the playoffs, it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what?
Wow. Yeah. But I think if we can stay as the third place team, then going into next year and especially 2026, watch out.
Oh, yeah.
We get a couple more, a fifth starter here and there, like we said. Watch out. I mean, one player I absolutely loved watching, especially the other night, taking 2 bags, Romy Gonzalez. With all these players we have coming up and some of the stars, Romy can easily fit in at second base next year. We haven't seen anything of Vaughn Grissom. Does he even stay? I mean, do we even have a spot for him?
I mean, not right now, I don't think, but maybe. I don't know. Like, I know we were so happy about Vaughn, and then it's just, you got all these other guys that came up throughout the year too that are just making a name for themselves. So it's just like, we're going to be in a really good position in 2 years, like we were saying, 2026, with just a bunch of young guys. So maybe he stays. I don't know. And I'd love for him to stay, but if he doesn't, that means we've got another one of these young guys that developed even better and jumped above him. So I think it's a win-win if we keep him or if not. 2 things. One, this is what I was looking for. Hold on. Let me find this. Baseball America. Top 100 prospects.
Oh, the thing you sent me?
No, not that one. But kind of what I sent you. But where do I see this fucking list? You can track movement here. Show me the... Oh, I gotta buy this fucking thing. I'm not doing that. Anyways, regardless, he's the number 2. Roman Anthony is the number 2 ranked prospect in all of baseball by Baseball America. Christian Campbell jumped up to 25. Mayer is at 11. Teal is at 26. And there was a possibility, I think, whoever was above him just last night or tonight, I think, is going to pass the at-bat mark to like be considered a prospect or something. I don't know what it is, but Roman can take over that number 1 spot. And I think he will this week. So that's awesome. Number 1 prospect in all of baseball, 4 guys in the top 26. I mean, dude. And then the other thing.
We definitely have great farm system and current nucleus of young talent right now.
Oh, yeah, which is so nice because,
and enough so that you can start to move. Obviously, I don't want to see Cedeno Rafaela moved because he's so versatile. And so that's why I say Grissom could be gone. Trevor Story, I think, could be easily gone.
Yeah,
those 2
guys.
Think so. And I think you package them correctly, you get a nice pitcher.
I think that's what you got to do is look for the pitching 100%. Who knows, man? They've all been raking it down there, and we'll see who. I mean, we've been talking about it all year. I don't think it's going to be anybody, unless we do make it, the playoffs. One of those guys may be coming up, but if not, it's going to be an interesting conversation in the offseason about like looking forward to the opening day roster and how those guys are going to play in spring training. And the difference in the team, I think, a starting opening day lineup from the last lineup of the year this year and opening day next year is going to be, we're going to be so hype about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you could have 3 positional spots that finish this year that will not be and potentially 4 if you add Rafaela in center. You could have 4 spots.
Yeah.
Because I could see Rafi moving back to short with Christian Campbell at second, Duran in center with Anthony in left or right.
I think he'd probably play left.
And Abreu in right.
Yeah.
And again, that could be 5 because Tyler O'Neill will probably be gone next year. And he's probably finishing off your right field for the remainder of the year with Abreu coming in and out. So definitely 5, almost half of your team that will finish will not be the same position players.
Yeah. Other thing to look forward to, though, after the season, if we don't make the playoffs, Netflix announced the release on the 23rd of October of their first documentary with the Red Sox. You know, they are bringing a camera crew around and keeping them with the team this year. We had talked about that a couple episodes ago. But this one is about the 04 Red Sox and the comeback. It's celebrating the 20-year anniversary of 2004 Red Sox. It looks very cool. Definitive docuseries chronicles the Red Sox journey to their first World Series title in 86 years via interviews with star players and personnel. I mean, that's just going to be awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, I don't have anything else about the Sox. Do you get? Well, let's just look ahead. All right, let's look at the week. So we got the O's series kicking off here in about 30 minutes. We got 3 games against them, and then you play 4 against the Yankees. What you got for this week?
And the Yankees are in New York, which again, I know that. Let's see, the record is still keeping us 33-39 at home, 39-32 away. 7 games. I'm going to be optimistic. We're going to put it together this week. We're 5-2, and we're still in the hunt.
All right. Well, I'm not going to be optimistic. I'm going to say 3-4. However, I do think. Well, now I'm looking at this. I think we could take 3. We might get swept by the O's, but I think we could take 3 from the Yankees. We play them really good in New York, and Devers rakes in that stadium. And so I think we could take some of those. We'll still go 3-4. I think the O's can put some work on us. But if we steal one of those against the O's, I think we can go 3-1 against the Yankees. That's a 4-3 week. But what? So you're going to go...
I'm going 5-2. I'm going to be an optimistic.
So you're saying 2-1 O's and 3-1 Yankees?
Yep.
Okay. We'll see.
I still want to be able to talk about our Sox.
Yeah, that I do too. Okay, so the big news of the weekend, obviously, NFL is back. But along with NFL being back and football being back in general, I just wanted to take the opportunity to say, I mean, we went over the games and everything last week. And, Dad, we had a pretty good week. 4-2 on provided picks. You know, we talk about it all the time that we know ball, and we do. And I wanted to point this out just because, obviously, we did go over the games last week, and we gave some leans and we gave some plays. However, the official plays that we are picking as our play of the night, our pick of the night, are always on our Twitter. And you should keep up with that. Keep up with us on the social medias because, for example, the Eagles game, when we looked over that, we were screaming under. And then we watched the game on Thursday. We saw how the Chiefs and the Ravens were moving the ball. Looking at that number for the Packers and the Eagles, and we were like, we're going to have to flip here. We're going to go on the over. And it ended up hitting. We started out 3-0. Castellanos over rushing yards. Chiefs minus 2.5. And over 49.5 in the Eagles-Packers game. Lost the Utah bet. Lost the Dolphins bet. That one, let me just say something about this. Fuck the Dolphins, not only because they're in our division, but they had the ball with like 5 minutes to go. And Mike McDaniel played for the field goal. We lost that by the hook. When he could have just they could have scored a touchdown there. I don't know. Vegas might have made a call. They're like, hey, kick the field goal.
Yeah.
We don't need a touchdown here. So we lose that one, but we come back with a Sunday night play with over 66.5 receiving yards for Cooper Kupp that he absolutely demolished. He went 14 for 110 and a touchdown. It was the easiest read on the day, honestly, I think. So we go 4-2. And now that brings us to the last game of week 1. the Monday Night Football game tonight, the Jets and the Niners. I'm pretty sure the line is still Niners minus, is it 3.5? Let me go look. But Dad, what are you thinking about this game? How do you think it plays out? And let's pick our best bet for this Monday Night Football game here. It's 4.5. 4.5 over under 43.5.
I think if anything, and I guess a good segue into what we're going to talk about both college and professional football and what I saw. And everyone was saying usually the defense is outplaying, especially what we saw in week 1 of the NFL. And I think it still is somewhat of a point in college football, but we'll get into some of those games. But I don't like that spread at 4.5. I really don't at this point. I mean, yes, was watching a little ESPN. I mean, pretty cool. Peyton and Bill Belichick doing their little breakdown segment. Just saw a little bit of that. And Bill kept on saying the Jets have a great defense. And I think Aaron will somehow be able to put up enough points. So if anything, if we're not going to take a player prop, I like the over in this.
Well, see, I don't know what I want to do with the total. I would maybe lean under, I think, as would everybody, though. That's what Vegas wants to do on this game. So I don't know if I want to attack the total. But there are some player props that stuck out to me. I sent it to you earlier.
Well, what's the total again?
43.5. So 24-20 goes over.
Yeah. I think that's
but I don't
easily.
know. I don't know if they
get easy at 24. I think it's an easy 24-20 game.
I think it could be like 23-17. That would give Niners minus 4.5. But the one I sent you earlier was Garrett Wilson, 50+ receiving yards, and Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown scorer, gets you up to plus 119. We get a plus money play. I think, obviously, if we could just pick one, I would like to do Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown, but that's juiced to minus 160. So I added the 50+ on Wilson, to get that juice out of there a little bit. Are you liking that, or you want to switch it up a little bit?
No. Christian obviously will probably rush, get a rushing touchdown. If not, we'll come out from the back and do a wing route and pick that up. So I think that's easy. And yeah, I think Garrett Wilson will get, I think that's really low. He's going to be targeted a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not his line. His line's set at like 67.5 or something. So we're getting a big discount on those yards. It's just enough to get it up at plus 119. The big thing about betting here, guys, I know everybody wants to hit your parlays and stuff, but it's those small plus money plays that are going to build your bankroll correctly. So yeah, I'm fine with counting that as it. I'm going to go here real quick and see where the odds are now. And they went down a little bit. They're at plus 116. However, we'll still ride with that, yeah?
Yep.
Let me tweet this out. And while I do that, outside of Christian McCaffrey, the obvious one, who do you think tonight, because you're leaning over, so you think there'll be some points, who do you think outside of Christian is the best bet to walk into the end zone today?
I think Breece Hall, and definitely I think Brandon Ayuk is going to sit back and say, this is why you paid me the money. I think with Debo, I mean, the Jets are a great defensive team, but with Kittle, Samuel, Ayuk, and McCaffrey, you can't cover them all.
There's going to be somebody that's got to fall through.
Yeah, you have way too many weapons there. So I would say a receiver, probably Brandon. I think they will probably look at Debo, cover him to, put a safety up top of him, watch him if he's, doing an end round or in the bot, a running back type of formation. So they're going to key him because you have to at least key somebody in this. I think he's probably the player that they're going to key on, trying to shut down. Again, San Francisco just has way too many individual options, weapons that have a big game and to score for you. So that's why I think, yes, in a bunch of these games, there were surprises or close games. Defense, on some teams showed up. Other teams didn't have the defense show up. I think this is a close game, but yet still, I would take 24-20 all day long for that over.
All right. Well, I mean, this correlates well because we're looking for some offense with this pick. So it is up. There's the pick of the night. I'm going to go ahead and retweet it on my account too, so we get that out there. And then we can move on a little bit. So we're good with that game. That's up. And that'll end off week 1. So why don't we recap week 1 a little bit? Do we want to start with the Pats, or do we want to just start with just everything?
We'll start going through all the games up here in week 1. So okay. Thursday night, the Chiefs and Ravens. Big banner night. Yeah, just love the fact that this new offside or illegal formation was called a lot on the Ravens off the left tackle. I think it was almost like 3 times in one series, it seemed.
I mean, they were called a bunch all over the place this week, though.
Yeah.
It was a big emphasis.
On my one fantasy, not in our group fantasy that we have, but I have them in my work fantasy, and Lamar got me a lot of points, so thank you very much. Love the rushing that he did. He's still, though, that quarterback, that looks to run first, even though they say, he slimmed down, he wants to stay in the pocket, blah, blah, blah. Still picking up 122 yards. I think, obviously, with Derrick Henry now as your lead back, I think it's really opened him up to run a whole lot more, and we obviously saw that. And be able to do that against the Chiefs defense, very impressive. Does the NFL, does Roger Goodell, does the officials want to see the Chiefs in a third consecutive opportunity to win a Super Bowl, 3 in a row? There are those conspiracy theorists out there that are saying that, yes. I mean, but yet, letter of the law, Likely's foot was touching the line, so that, he
was out.
That was a correct play. You can't just say, oh no, it was a great catch and way to go and let's put it into overtime just because a player made a great play. He was out of bounds. So, but no, Chiefs look powerful.
The Chiefs, they said this on the Pat McAfee show on Friday. They go, the Chiefs is the Chiefs. And I was like, yep, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I pulled up our pool here too. We both did pick the Chiefs that night though.
Yeah. The Worthy, that end around.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem.
Oh my God.
He's going to be a problem. I mean, I know this is what everybody was talking about all offseason. How can you give Patrick Mahomes on his chance to a three-peat, the fastest guy in NFL Combine history? But they're like, oh, well, let's see if it matches. He's still a rookie. No, he came in there and he looked like Tyreek Hill from 2 years ago. He looked just exactly what they need in that offense. And Rashee Rice was everywhere you needed him to be, too. He was a fucking menace. It was actually crazy. They did all of that. The passing game looked better in the second half. It was okay in the first. It looked better in the second half. They did all that with Travis Kelce only catching 3 balls, too. He was utilized way more as a blocker. Pacheco, I mean, them running and everything, their running game's just going to be just as phenomenal as it was last year. Pacheco's going to go for 1,000 again because they're just going to force feed him. But The Chiefs is the Chiefs. And the Ravens and Lamar Jackson just aren't going to be able to beat these guys. I don't know. Maybe in the playoffs it'll turn around because they'll probably see each other again, but they just continue to have their number. All right, well, moving on from Thursday here, on to Friday. Eagles, Packers, in Brazil.
Hold on, really quick. Oh. You know who absolutely, I think, will rise up on that depth chart in the running back room? And I wish I would have grabbed him.
Steel kid.
Holy crap, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I know I've already got a waiver claim in a bunch of leagues for him. That'll hopefully clear on Wednesday. But yeah, he was impressive. And I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Yeah. Because again, Samaji, whatever his name is there, will be injured at some point.
Yeah.
Because he always is every year. And that will open up an opportunity for him to get a couple more touches. And yeah, the Chiefs just keep on loading up. As you were saying, Friday night in Brazil, the Eagles and Packers.
We both picked Eagles. We both got that right. But this game, man, obviously, Saquon, dude, it's almost unfair how well he fits in that Philly offense. And just, his first couple drives, it was like, all right, get the feet wet. And then they just let him go, man. 3 touchdowns on the day. I was talking to people about this. He was minus 110 or something to score a touchdown. I had him anytime touchdown, and I almost thought about laddering it up all the way to 3 touchdowns and didn't do it, and wish I did because, man, he's just great. We know that. He's up there with CMC as potentially the best running back in the league at his peak, just with him being such a dynamic player, and throw him in that offense. Eagles are not going to have the year that they had last year.
No, and the Eagles have always lived with that borderline, hey, we got a running back or running back by committee type thing through their heydays, here and reaching Super Bowls and all. But to have, again, with the weapons that they do have at 2 wide receiver positions and a great tight end, now throw in a top tier running back with a decent quarterback who can at least manage a game. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a manager of the game. Don't get me wrong. Don't start to hate on me. But what I'm saying is he's, not a top 10 type quarterback. I don't think by any stretch of the means. And not that he's, the guys that, Brock Purdy when he first came out that we said he's a manager or Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, no. Fucking way.
Somebody got hurt.
CMC is inactive tonight, and the spread just locked. Well, we're gonna have to pull that one back. Good to know now, though. Let me go. That's crazy. He's not even playing. I didn't think it was gonna be this big of an injury. Well, we'll have to wrap back around and find some other one, but. Okay.
Still,
sorry, that I was not expecting that at all. All right. Well, we'll wrap back around to that. Let's start ripping through these games though, because we will have to address that again. All right. I'm just going to go through because some of these, obviously we're watching Sunday. You're watching all the games at the time. You're not keeping up with every single one, but, Pittsburgh, Atlanta. Pittsburgh pulls it out. We both had Atlanta in our pool. Pittsburgh defense, very good. TJ Watt, he's coming with a purpose this year, man. He wants to win that Defensive Player of the Year, and he thought he was robbed last year. Buffalo, Arizona. Buffalo only pulls it out by 6. We did get the win in the pool. We both picked Buffalo, but I don't know, man. Are the Cardinals like sneaky, or because they did all that with Marvin Harrison having a pretty shit game, or is it just the Bills are going to be susceptible to losing this year?
I think probably the Bills went into this, thinking this is a easy win, and then obviously got woke up really quick and flexed a muscle. Obviously already being down, what was it, 14-0 at, in the first quarter or whatever, already being down, helps though, at least a little of that Cardinal final total. So I think the Cardinals were just up for it faster than the Bills, and I'm still not too worried. I mean, when you have Josh Allen as your quarterback, you can't be worried. He's just a gamer. He's a winner.
Did you see that run he made where he jumped over that guy? That was incredible. That was one of those. The whole bar that we were at just erupted, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a Josh Allen play, man."
Yeah.
All right. I was just thinking here because I'm waiting for this line to change because this is gonna severely shift this line. We might be able to get Niners at a better price than we want here, or a better price than we were looking at before, or with no Christian McCaffrey. Is it a Deebo Samuel anytime touchdown tonight?
Oh yeah,
right. Yep. On some little end around, they'll have him involved in the running game. I think that might have to be the one.
And he probably would be playing. I would assume more running back.
Yep. I mean, he'll get his touches there. Or we could go a Breece Hall touchdown, but I don't know. I feel like everybody's on Breece Hall touchdown. I feel like Vegas wants you to take Breece Hall touchdown tonight, and I feel like it's gonna be a bad beat. All right, so I'll wait on this line to update. It's taking a bit. All right. Chicago, Tennessee. Caleb Williams looks fucking horrible, but they still pulled out the win. I did pick Chicago. You picked Tennessee in our pool, but hey, I said it all throughout the offseason. Caleb Williams is not a fucking Jesus like people thought he was going to be just walking into the league. And when I said Drake May, once we look back in 5 years, is going to be the best quarterback out of this class, I think a lot more people were put on watch after seeing Caleb Williams go 14 for 29 and 93 yards.
That was just
we'll skip. I
was
going to do
ugly to see 93 yards total.
Yeah. Too many quarterbacks were just struggling to put up yards this week, man.
Yeah.
I know it's week 1, but fucking passing is half of the game. Some of these guys looked like they haven't thrown a football in fucking 6 months. We'll skip the Pats one because we do want to talk about them just separately. Indianapolis, Houston. Houston pulls it out by 2. We both did pick them correctly. That was a great game, though. That was a great game all around. And that game's going to be a lot of fun to watch the second time around this year. And potentially 3. They could both sneak into the playoffs. I don't know. I know they lost. Colts looked good. Colts looked really good here. Texans just looked a little better.
And if anyone does do fantasy, I guess we'll become a New England sport /betting/fantasy podcast. I'm kicking myself, and I got a waiver wire back on Alex Pierce. I'm kicking myself.
Yep, that was funny.
Dropping him. Oh, that was the wrong move.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about fantasy. I went 0-6 this week. Didn't win a single league. But I waited 7 months for fantasy football, and I didn't win a single fucking league. At least the Pats won. Because if the Pats lost too, dude, fucking, I lost so many units betting this weekend. I lost every single fantasy football matchup. And my NFL team would have started off 0-1, but they didn't. So thank God they salvaged the weekend for me. Next game, Saints just put it on the Panthers. We know the Panthers are bad, but holy shit. This was laughable. I mean, they're just turning the ball over. Bryce Young throws an interception on his first pass in the first quarter. And then in the second half, he throws an interception on his second pass attempt. They're fucking horrible. And Bryce Young is still the Bryce Young from last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard an interesting stat on Pardon My Take. Barstool Sports, we love you. We're open to being signed. That the Panthers last year, and they went 2-15.
15, I think, yeah.
2-15. They did not take an offensive snap in the fourth quarter with the lead last year.
That's crazy.
Their 2 wins came on last-second field goals. They did not take.
Yeah, I do remember that. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they are in. Hopefully, Dan Morgan will try and turn this thing around. I mean, again, we live here in Carolina country, so we should root for them. But there is a lot of issues going on. This team could be like the Lions of the team
of 2008
yeah.
when they went 0-7. I know we were talking about it last week when we did their records.
But yet I'm saying how long it took for the Lions to
them get back around. Yeah,
get back around. The Panthers are. This is years in the making.
Yeah. The new lines are out. 49ers -3.5. Didn't change it too much. -180 on the money line. Totals at 42.5. Jordan Mason, anytime touchdown scorer, is at 145. I think I just saw. 145. Debo at +160. I think it's or Ayuk at +170. But I think I like Debo +160 there. We just make it easy. All right, that's the new one. Let me go find the best price for him, wherever that's at. And
so
go ahead.
While you do that, let me continue. And again, follow us on our Twitter on the New Era podcast, because again, you would have made money if you would have made these bets this week.
You would have.
You would have. Vikings and Giants. Sam Darnold, a quarterback,
might be MVP.
And the Giants still don't have a quarterback.
I mean, it's the same thing year in and year out. But the fact that you see they had to come out today on Pat McAfee show Monday morning, right after the first week, and Adam Schefter was on, and he got breaking news that Daniel Jones will be the starting quarterback for week 2. If you're already having that conversation and that's a question by week 2, oh man, you're in for a fucking year.
And I know you're back. And I know your backup's Tyrod Taylor, who will probably get you a win or two, but he will be injured. I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
A Giants quarterback by week 6 or 7. We'll say week 7. Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill?
Yep.
I heard something about him potentially going to the Packers instead because Jordan Love will be out and Malik Willis was really just stupid.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that could be quicker than sitting around and waiting. But, or, I mean, do the Giants look to a Carson Wentz trade or something like that? I don't know, but they are going to need to do something in that quarterback room. Heck, it might be a smart thing, put Carson Wentz in there and lose some games and make a trade and get the number 1 draft pick.
Could be. I forgot that Carson Wentz was even in the league until you said that, to be honest.
He's a backup in
Kansas City.
With the Chargers. Oh, yeah.
No, it's Kansas City.
Sorry, yep. What are the games? We talked about that. We talked about the Dolphins and Jaguars a little bit. What about Tariq Hill getting arrested there?
Scotty Scheffler moment all over again. I mean, dude, that was crazy stuff. But it was, as soon as I saw that, it was the easiest bet of my life to go bet Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown. Then he cashed us in.
Broncos Seahawks. The Bo Nix era starts. Geno Smith still has legs, even in his advanced age. He can still run. I think that was 30-some yard touchdown. Raiders Chargers. Jim Harbaugh era starts with 22-10 win over the Raiders. Good defense. Decent game. I mean, I think we both picked Seahawks and Chargers to win.
No, I picked Broncos.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You're up right now, 12-10. We both have the Niners, though, so.
Okay. I saw the Cowboys-Browns game that was on the Fox game with your Tom
Brady. Man, he sounded good, didn't he?
I know you were in the bar, so I don't know how much you heard.
Oh, no, I was listening. Oh, I was listening, all right. He was fucking great. Yeah.
He's pushing Tony Romo out, man.
Oh, he might have done it in a week.
Yeah. There was, though, a little moment I heard where I think it was, Dallas had the ball, and he goes, and you'll watch Ezekiel Elliott out over here, and he circled him, and he paused, and they said, he'll get a chip. He'll chip the end.
Yeah.
I think it was Myles Garrett or whatever, but he did pause. But outside of that little 30-second pause to what he wanted to say, he sounded really good. The GOAT could be the GOAT in the broadcast booth as well.
He might be. Next game.
And yes, and another game with a quarterback that I was expecting a little bit more, especially when you signed that contract before the game. 159 yards into the third or fourth quarter. Didn't look fantastic. Dak did not look fantastic. And another point I want to make really quick on that game. The Browns made the biggest mistake, which will set your franchise back when you signed Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah. Most guaranteed money ever at the time or whatever.
I mean,
that's
the way he looks and his mannerisms and how he just looks defeated the whole time and like, I don't want to be here. I would not be surprised if this guy retires in the next 2 years.
I mean, potentially.
It's just football.
You see him play now, and like the Browns are supposed to be a good team, but it's crazy. I was watching this game and I was like, dude, what happened to the Deshaun Watson that we knew? Because I don't remember a drop off of a quarterback like this in like this decent in a while. I mean, he was such a dynamic playmaker in Houston. I mean, and then he takes off a year and loses it.
In fantasy, everyone wants him in the top 5 or whatever players, top 10 or top 5 quarterback, top 10 player, probably fantasy. You wanted to draft him because of his versatility and he could run. And now he's probably 15 to 18 top quarterback.
Oh, he might be in the 20s. He really might. Yeah. He looks terrible. Yeah, that was, and regardless, you were saying about Dak, though, the one thing I want to say about that, it doesn't really matter because of the fact that the Browns could not move the ball worth a shit. Like, they couldn't do anything. So Dak, and it wasn't like his worst game. He's definitely had some bad ones, but I mean, could you imagine if he had a Dak game, like a good game? That game might have been as bad as the Saints, Panthers.
Mm-hmm. And Elliott looks pretty good there, too, back in that backfield. The Buccaneers handling the Commanders, although Jaden Daniels.
2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep. Impressive.
We both picked the Bucs there.
And then last night's game, which we touched on a little bit, the Lions and the Rams. What an emotional game.
And I missed that one, yeah. Also, I know they made this whole rule change about overtime. Why the fuck is this not applied to regular season too? Why is it only playoffs? They should have got the ball back. Like, I don't understand why you change that rule only for the playoffs, but you don't change it in the regular season too.
Because it could have eventually affect a playoff seed or whatever team getting in.
Yeah, but it's just have the rule consistent. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Why are we switching it just when we get into the playoffs? I just think that's so dumb.
But one thing out of this game.
Poor
one
Rams.
thing out of this game. Yeah.
Because Puka.
Yep.
Out for 4 weeks now, IR. Bad stuff. But Cooper
definitely.
Kupp's going to he's going to be like 2021 Cooper Kupp again this year. Yeah.
One thing out of this game, your mom's in a company pool in which she picks one game a week and the longest streak.
Like a survivor pool, yeah.
Yep, has chances for tickets to the Super Bowl.
Ah.
And she's 1-0 right now because she took the Lions.
Nice. Okay. Hey, that'd be awesome. How many tickets?
I don't know, but if it's only 2, she's not going. You and I are going. I'll steal them.
All right. Yeah. And then now we'll circle back.
Yeah.
To the greatest team in week 1. The team that most likely, as of right now, best value bet to win the Super Bowl. Probably the best team in the AFC East. Probably the best team in the AFC. Maybe the best team in the league. The New England Patriots that everybody wrote off just beat Joe Shiesty and the Bengals in Cincinnati. And, dude, this was awesome. This was literally one of my favorite wins, and it had made, like, the Patriots enjoyable to watch for the first time in the last 4 years.
Now, who was riding you the whole time to say that the +8 you need to take?
You did. And I didn't know if I wanted to trust it. I also don't know, like, I hate betting on the Pats, because then not only if they would have lost, then you lose the spread too or something potentially. It's like, but they didn't. So, it would have been a great pick. But, dude, so many things about this. Ramondre Stevenson, back to, a really great back. He had 124 yards on the ground, I think, and 122 of them. Okay. Oh, it was 120?
120. 25 carries, 120 yards, 4.18 average with 1 touchdown.
Okay, so 118 of those came after contact. Which is a historical stat. That's never been done. That's actually ridiculous. O-line, first quarter, I was like, they look horrible. And then the rest of the game, they weren't as bad as I think we imagined they would be. Jacoby's got some wheels on him. And Tyquan Thornton knows how to catch a ball.
Yep.
And also, Christian Gonzalez. I know we talked about it before the season. He's legitimately going to make a case for Defensive Player of the Year, and he might win it. He shut down Jamar Chase for 2 catches for 14 yards when he was on him. He's just so good, and I'm so happy that he's back.
Yeah. I love looking at the stats here. Antonio rushed 7 carries for 18 yards, 2.6 average. Not great, but one thing that I heard on the broadcast, and I don't know if you picked up again because you were in the bar, and I sent you the text, and I heard the transformation, and maybe this is why they looked so bad, the offensive line, even though they were shuffling a lot of players, and thank you, David Andrews, for coming back and playing. They've changed, and I know Bill never wanted to go to a zone blocking, which is something that Ramondre had not experienced, and actually asked Antonio Gibson, how do you run in a zone blocking? I think he loves it.
I think he does love it. What else? There was something else I wanted to say here.
And look at and how they spread the ball around. I mean, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players with receptions.
Yeah, spreading it around well. New offense looks great compared to what we were seeing last year. And
Austin Cooper with that great catch.
That was a good one. outside of just Christian Gonzalez, the whole defense as a whole was.
Oh yeah,
we knew it would be good. We knew it would be the best part of our team, but they honestly, outside of who else? Let me see here. There was one other defense that really impressed me. The Steelers. Like I said, outside of the Steelers, I think we look like the best defensive team on the week.
I mean, Keon White, 3 tackles, 1 assist, 2.5 sacks.
Yeah, he
10 plus sacks. 10 plus sacks.
Yeah, we did say that. We said him and you said Uche, right? I think.
Yeah.
But Keon might go for like 16. He's so good. And it was really funny because he made Trent Brown look like a fucking idiot. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, the defense was flying all over. Marcus Jones, how many, wasn't there an interception forced or a fumble recovery? Marcus Jones picked that up when it looked like another touchdown was going to occur potentially. Yeah, this defense is just flying all over.
Yeah, that fumble you're talking about. There were no interceptions, but that was the fumble. Kyle Duggar, what a freaking way to punch that ball out. Like riding the guy like a backpack, and he still is able to get his hand in there and punch it out at the 1. Then Marcus Jones turn around, head on a swivel, able to pick up that ball off its first jump and go. I mean, they were going, man.
Right. Two fumbles that they forced and recovered during the night. Yeah, no interceptions, but 2 turnovers with fumbles. One other, I think, again, from offense, defense, and even special teams.
Yeah.
Our special teams.
I was going to say, Joey Sly looked good.
Joey Sly looked good. But your Brandon Schooler, who now has moved from the protection spot, and he got down all the time as protection. Now he's your wing. Now he's taken over Matthew Slater's spot. That one punt that was just blasted, and he flew and made that tackle inside, I think it was the 5-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
He will be your all-pro special teamer this year, without a doubt. That guy is special as a special teamer. No pun intended.
And it's also really nice, not only just to have one and start off the year 1-0, but we got the Seahawks next week now. And we already were talking about that being a win. So now you got the potential to start 2-0 when everybody thought you would get the brakes blown off you, like, man,
at this
point,
encouraging. if you want to take that 5, I think it was 5.5 win total for them.
It looks 4.5.
4.5.
And I think with that one this week, if you bet that, and it's probably changed now, but if you bet it preseason with that win this week, you're probably thinking that's cash now.
Yeah.
My 6-11, like I said, might not be too bad. What did you say? 8-9 might not be too bad. Who knows?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I mean, we're gonna both be wrong. We're going 17-0. We're gonna win it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's enough about week 1 because we got a bunch of other shit to talk about here. Let's go to week 2, and we got to fly through these. All right. I got lines, courtesy of FanDuel here, as always. And we'll start off Thursday night. Bills at Miami. Miami favored by 1.5 points. Over under 48.5. Quick read. What do you like?
I like the Bills. Take the Bills, the points. They'll win outright, but under.
I'm going to go give me a Josh Allen anytime touchdown. That's what I want in this game. Saints at the Cowboys, 1:00 on Sunday. Cowboys favored by 6.5 points. Over under is set at 45.5.
I think yes, the Cowboys just manhandled, and Saints obviously playing an much inferior team, putting up as much points as they did. But I don't know. I think this might be 3 or 5 point game. So I probably take the Saints and the points.
Give me Dallas Cowboys over 26.5 total points for their team total. I think even if it does stay close and they lose the game, they are scoring 27. Next game, Bucks at the Lions. Lions favored by 7 points. Over under is set at 50.5.
Wow. Bucks did show up, but I think a much better defense this week. I will take the Lions. And I'll take the points.
Over 50.5. Both of these defenses looked really bad last week, and the offenses were clicking. Baker was moving the ball. I do think the Lions still pulled this out. I don't like that number right at 7. If it was 6.5, maybe I'd take him for a touchdown. But I don't know. So I'd rather just tack the over and hope for some points here. Next one, Browns at Jags. Jags favored by 3.5 points. Over under is set at 41.5.
Love the Jags because I don't think there's any continuity in that Browns offense at all. Take Browns.
I will wait until that line hopefully falls to 2.5 so you can get them by a field goal. I think I could be fine with 3.5, but I feel like this could be the same sort of shit from the Jacksonville-Miami game last week where we get killed on like the hook at a field goal at the end. But regardless, I think you take 41.5 until the Browns can prove to me that they can play competent football on the offensive end. I will not be attacking any points in any of their games. 49ers at the Vikings. Niners are favored by 5.5 right now. I'm not sure, what they're thinking with the CMC and how that's going to affect the line. And obviously we haven't seen them play tonight, so this line could definitely move depending upon the game tonight, but over-under is set at 45.5.
I think I would probably attack the over.
I think I will hope that CMC comes back and give me the gift that keeps on giving. CMC anytime touchdown. Next one, Chargers at the Panthers. Chargers minus 6.5 over under 38.5. This is Chargers minus 6.5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this could be. I might look at like Chargers minus 9.5 alternate or something. This is going to be a shit show again for the Panthers. Next game, Raiders at the Ravens. Ravens favored by 9.5 points. Over under set at 41.5.
If you're just giving me that, I mean, I Ravens to win. But if my choices are, because I don't have prop bets up, I would take the over.
Yeah, I don't see any props for it yet, but I almost want to say, and I know the Ravens are definitely a better team than the Raiders, but in week 2, getting 9.5 points is a lot. So I think I would maybe take Raiders plus 9.5. And I think everybody and their mothers is going to want to be on Ravens minus 9.5, but I think the books know what they're doing here. Next game, Seahawks at Pats. Seahawks favored by 3.5 points. Over under set at 38.5. Patriots money line.
Patriots money line.
Plus 148. Patriots money line. That might be our pick of the night on Sunday. I'm not going to lie. Next game, Colts at Packers. Colts favored by 3.5 points. Over under set at 40.5.
Take the Colts.
Yeah, you would take the Colts. That line is weird. Yeah, it's Colts. Jets at Titans. Jets favored by 4.5 points. Over under set at 41.5.
I know that I think we did the Titans. At least I picked them at 6 and 10. And I'm just not a Jets fan whatsoever. I would probably take the Titans and the points. I think it'll be a lot closer. I think Will Levis is a quarterback. He's got that team. They love him. They'll play hard for him.
I think you're reading that completely wrong. I don't want to take the Jets minus 4.5, but I'll take under 41.5. Titans look terrible. And I feel like we'll see it tonight, and I don't think it's going to get fixed by next week. I think it's going to take more weeks than you'd think for this Jets offense to start meshing. Giants at Commanders. Commanders favored by 2.5 points, over under 43.5.
Jaden Daniels gets his first win.
Yeah, I think I'd probably take 2.5. And do I see they don't even have any props up yet? I'll take 2.5, but I'm going to look at whatever Jaden Daniels' passing yard total is. And after the game last week, I think everybody's going to be like, he's going to be a little too mobile. No, I think you attack the over on the passing yards. He's going to throw all over the Giants. Moving on to the 4 o'clock games, we got Rams at Cardinals. Cardinals are actually favored by 1.5 points. Over under set at 49.5.
Is this a West Coast shootout? I think definitely the Rams. I might double it with the Rams and the over.
I think you're 100% right. I think I'll take. No, fuck it. I'm not. There's no point in taking 1.5 points there. I'll just take Rams money line, and yeah, I think the over at 49.5. This should be at least a 50-point something total. I think. Next one. Ooh, Bengals at Chiefs. Great game. Chiefs minus 5.5. Over under 48.5.
I'll take Chiefs money line. I think the Bengals, unfortunately,
at 260.
Yeah. I think
the Chiefs.
Yeah, but I think the Bengals do this every year. Go 0 whatever in the beginning, and then turn it on later.
Yeah, they start off really slow. I'll take Chiefs minus 5.5. What did I say last week? Don't bet against Patty. I'm not betting against Patty at home either. Bengals looked really bad. And give me whatever Pacheco's rushing line is whenever it comes out. Give me the over because he's going to run all over them just like Ramondre did this week. Next one, Steelers at the Broncos. Steelers favored by 3 points. Over under set at 36.5.
I'll definitely take the under.
I don't. Maybe they don't have any props out for these games yet, which sucks. It's like the 4 o'clock games. I'll go. Yeah, actually, I'll go whenever it comes out. I'll probably take the under in this anyways, but whenever it comes out, I'm gonna probably take Broncos team total under 2. I think this Pittsburgh defense is gonna give Bo Nix fits today or on Sunday. Sunday night game. Bears at Texans. Texans favored by 6.5 points. Over under set at 46.5.
Texans money or Texans and the points.
Texans and the points. I think. Cool. Bears team total is set at 19.5. I almost want to go under there. I think they only put up like 17. Yeah, I think I'd maybe do that. Under 19.5 Bears total. Hopefully that moves up to 20.5 and we can get a good key number there. And then the last one of the week, next Monday night, Falcons at Eagles. It's the Bird Bowl. Eagles minus 6.5. Over under set at 47.5.
And it's in Philly, their home opener, and coming off of although you are traveling back from Brazil, although you were locked up.
They have extra
go out.
They have extra time there too.
Yeah. But you were locked up in your hotel. Maybe you want to go out and have some fun. I would still take the Eagles to win this. I don't know about that point. I'd probably take Eagles money line.
At minus 300. You love those juice lines, man. Oh my God. Give me Saquon anytime touchdown. Give me Saquon rushing yards over. Give me Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. He finds his way into the end zone this week because he didn't do it last week. All right, and that is all of those. So let's fly through college football too. Let me see. What do we have?
I have right here the top. I have the top AP 25. Let's run through this. Based on obviously what you saw last week. So we'll go through this top 25 and then your thoughts on, hey, how did this team do after this past week of games? Were you surprised that they did what they did or not? Georgia is your number one, 2-0.
Oh, you're going? No, that's fine. Yeah.
No surprise. Continue.
I mean, no, 48
Any
to
worries?
3 over Tennessee Tech. Nope, absolutely not. I will not worry about Georgia football for as long as I live.
Texas, they are your number 2 team.
If it wasn't for the fact that Georgia's so goddamn good, I would say Texas won. They looked fucking incredible against Michigan, and I might have to get me a Texas to win the college football playoff ticket because Texas might be back. We knew Michigan. I knew that this was an easy read with the Texas minus 6.5. Michigan looks fucking terrible, but Texas is damn good.
Ohio State sits at number 3.
I know they're probably pissed off because Texas jumped them, but I know when you beat a ranked team like that early in the season in the big house, yes, they're going to give Texas a little more credit. Ohio State is still, they were my preseason pick to win the national championship, and they're up there. It might be Texas, Ohio State, to be honest, in the big game at the end of it. But no, they're still just a fucking monster.
Alabama is number 4.
Going into the season, I thought they were ranked a little bit high, but because losing Nick Saban and stuff. But as through 2 weeks, you just see Alabama is still going to be Alabama. I look at these teams, and I think maybe the only other teams I would put them under. I think Tennessee should be above them. I think Ole Miss should be above them, but I think they should probably be 6 then. Yeah.
All right, so Ole Miss sits at number 5.
Great.
Jackson.
They're a wagon. Jackson Dart for Heisman or something. I don't know. They're a wagon.
Missouri sits at number 6.
I don't understand why they jumped 3 spots this week. But they're an offensive wagon. I just feel like the wheels are going to fall off at some point once they get into SEC play.
Yeah, I do too. Tennessee, the big win against the Wolfpack, they sit at number 7.
And there is my Heisman pick in Nico, however you say his fucking last name. I don't know. Tennessee's a wagon. Nico's disgusting. Holy shit, this game, man. I know I said last week, give me the points with State. Give me the State money line. Boy, was I fucking wrong. Tennessee is scary.
Penn State is your number 8 team.
They should have dropped. That there's no reason. They were favored by 35.5 points, and they almost lost to Bowling Green at home. They should have dropped. There's no reason that, and I'm jumping ahead of you here, but there's no reason Oregon should have dropped too, and Penn State shouldn't have dropped either.
Yeah, Oregon is number 9, and I think the point that I probably alluded to earlier in this podcast, you're seeing, these powerhouse schools just sneak out in some teams that they should. So what is wrong with offense? Probably in particular their offenses. And I think both Penn State and Oregon right there as prime examples. Number 10 team is Miami.
I think they're a little high, but I think it's just because they started out the year a little high. But I mean, they whooped up on A&M, Florida A&M. I didn't watch any of this game, but I did watch a lot of the Florida Miami game last week. Cam Ward's a weapon. So no, I'm not really surprised that they're here. I'm surprised that they started out so high, but now through 2 weeks, I understand why the AP poll had them so high to begin with.
Your biggest probably jump, number 11, USC. Are the Trojans back?
They are back, and they are really good. And in 2 weeks, they play Michigan, and Michigan is favored by like 6.5 for 7.5 or 9.5 points or something right now. That might be the most fucked up line of the year. Give me all of USC. They're good. I like USC this year.
your 12th team, who we are both high on, but having some issues right now, Utah Utes.
Yeah, man, of course, that's the game Cam Rising gets hurt when we pick him. I was high on him going into this week, but I don't know the outlook of that injury. I didn't look too far into it. The first half, they looked great. They looked like a college football playoff contender team. And then without Cam Rising, they fall off a cliff. So they better hope that he's okay. I'm going to look into it, actually, what the diagnosis was or anything. But they better hope that he's all right. He sustained a right hand injury. And they say they believe it's not serious.
So I should make a point. Utah is sitting at 12 and actually out of the college playoff right now, looking in, because again, we will always have a non-Power 5, the highest coming out.
Well, technically no, because they are the highest ranked Big 12 team right now. So if they win,
that's true. So it would be USC.
Yeah,
so it's USC would be looking out right now.
I don't think, if we were to have to do it now, I think it might be a Penn State or like an Oregon that would fall out. Yep. Miami, I think that win for USC over LSU, I think if the college football playoff started right now, would have them in.
Number 13 is Oklahoma State, just finding a way to win.
Yeah, sneaky fucking game again. And they should not have went up 3 places for this game, for this win. Arkansas is not that team. Ollie Gordon, minus 800 for an anytime touchdown, just cashed it in overtime. That was about to be a parlay buster, I know, for a lot of people. But Oklahoma State, I mean, they got some shit they're going to have to turn around, because that was not an impressive win. And same thing with Kansas State here. Same thing with Kansas State. Tulane, I did want to take the points with Tulane. Tulane is a good team. But I think if this is truly a good year of Kansas State football, they pull away in that game later on, and they didn't. So
next up, Oklahoma.
Why did this team not drop? You only beat Houston by 4 points. And Houston is not going to be a good football team this year. I mean, I honestly think by the end of the year, Oklahoma might go like 5-7 or something in the SEC. I think it's going to be a lot of problems for them. They're getting, these easy games out of the way with wins, but that is not an impressive one.
LSU is number 16.
That's fine. Don't really care.
Michigan 17.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
They dropped 7. I mean, no, that's fine. They did look really bad. I knew they dropped. 17 is probably fine for them, but they might lose another game within the next 2 weeks and be out of this top 25.
Notre Dame drops.
Dude. Come on, Notre Dame. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't even think they should be in the top 20. They should be like 22. Yeah, that was... what's going to happen every year. This is Notre Dame football. They get upset, but fuck, that usually doesn't happen week 2 to Northern Illinois. It's like USC at the end of the year or something. That was just crazy.
Number 19 is Louisville.
They're fun, man. They're fun, and they should 100% be higher than Notre Dame, Michigan, and LSU, and Oklahoma for that fact, honestly. Louisville is a fun team to watch, and they've got some offensive firepower.
Number 20 sits Arizona.
I don't really fucking care about this team. I don't know why they were ranked to start the year. I mean, whatever, I guess, but they're not going to be a threat that we have to worry about once we get towards the end of the year.
Sitting at number 21, your Iowa State Cyclones.
Fuck these guys. This should have been an Iowa game. I'm so pissed about this one. This was one of my most confident bets on the slate. Sure.
And
yeah, they get it.
Who said
shut up?
Iowa
shut
State?
up. Shut
who
up.
Said Iowa
yeah,
State?
Shut up. They get in there because they beat Iowa. Yeah, and that's a big program, and Iowa's ranked. But they'll lose a game coming up here. They're going to fall out within the next 2 weeks.
Number 22, Clemson.
So I know we gave Clemson a lot of shit last week for the loss to Georgia, but I think any team would lose to Georgia. They are really fucking good. But for Clemson to turn around and put this absolute ass whooping on Appalachian State, it shows that they needed to do that after they got their ass whooped in week 1. I thought this game was going to stay a lot closer. They might be good. They might just not be in that like top tier where they're going to face those top 12 teams and they'll lose to them. But no, I think Clemson went out here and showed that, hey, we're still Clemson and we're still going to run this ACC.
I think a team that should have been moved up a whole lot higher. I'm in love, and I think this team's program is starting to come back. Nebraska.
Yeah, Dylan Raiola is he's turned around that program. They're good. We knew this was going to be an easy win over Colorado. Colorado never stood a chance here. But no, I think Nebraska is going to be a little fun to watch this year.
Number 24 is your Boston College Eagles.
Go Eags, man. Good for them. I think they deserve it. That's cool.
And sitting at number 25, your top non-Power 5 school, Northern Illinois.
Now I know we all wanted, oh, so nice. They beat Notre Dame. This is the way that the AP poll is trying to protect Notre Dame by now going ahead and ranking Northern Illinois. Very fun win. Good win for them, right? Big program, historical win. Awesome. They shouldn't be ranked 25, guys. Come on now. I mean, the others receiving votes under them: Illinois, Boise State, Texas A&M, Syracuse, Memphis, Washington, Iowa, Kansas, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Liberty, Wisconsin, UNLV, North Carolina. I think a lot of these teams should have been ranked 25 over them. But good for them. Fuck it. We'll let them go out there and celebrate their ranked thing. It's the first time they've been ranked since like 2013, and they'll lose it by next week.
You know, one program you said there that received votes, Vanderbilt. In love with that program right now.
Yeah, it's a new age of Vanderbilt football, I guess. I just want to know why the fuck the East Carolina Pirates are not receiving votes.
Yeah.
2-0. 2-0. 2-0. About to be 3-0 once we whoop up on Ass State this weekend. All right. That was good. That was a nice little throw a audible in there segment. That was good. All right, let me run through some of these games then. We're not going to do all of them. We're going to do kind of how we did last week. Not really anything on Thursday we cared about, but Friday we have number 20 Arizona at number 14 Kansas State at 8 p.m. Kansas State is favored by 7 points, over under 57.5.
Yeah, again, we're just talking. We don't know much about Arizona football. 7 points though, but the Kansas State quarterback, Avery Williams?
Avery Johnson.
Or Johnson, sorry. I think a little, pretty fun quarterback. I'll take Kansas State.
Yeah, I really hope this line goes down to like 6.5 because I'd like to not push with a touchdown. Part of my head is telling me maybe take Arizona in the points, even though I was just saying I don't believe in this team. That just seems like a high line for a Kansas State team that didn't look too good this week. But I think this might be a little high flying. Give me the over. One of the game of the weeks, and where College Game Day, I think, is, I don't know if they've already confirmed it, but they'll be here. Alabama at Wisconsin. Alabama favored by 16 points, over under set at 51.5.
Alabama should show some muscle, but I think this will be close. I would take Wisconsin points.
Yeah, 16 is a little too much, I think. I'm going to take the plus 16. In Wisconsin, it's going to be a raucous crowd. Game day, 12 o'clock. You're going to have a bunch of freaking hammered college students out there that got out there to freaking camp out at 5 a.m. Yeah, give me Wisconsin plus 16. Number 16, LSU at South Carolina. LSU favored by 7 points, over under set at 50.5.
I think this is a sneaky game where I would take South Carolina and the points being at home.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm there with you. South Carolina is just going to be, I don't necessarily think they're like good, and I don't think LSU is bad, but I think this just.
But it's one of those games that South Carolina will do something to win.
Stick around, just be weird. Yeah. So give me the 7. Memphis at Florida State. Florida State favored by 7.5 points, over under 52.5. Give me all of Memphis plus 7.5, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Florida State has to do something to save their season.
I think they probably win it, but they should not be getting 7.5 points on any team in the nation right now. Number 24, Boston College at number 6, Missouri. Missouri favored by 16.5 points, over under set at 54.5.
I'll take Boston College. The points.
I will go with the Eagles and the points. Give me Thomas Castellanos, our GOAT, our first ever provided bet to have another game. Do we might care about this. Tulane at Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 14, over under 50.5.
Yeah, I think we should have probably taken Tulane and the points. I think that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about how I don't believe in this Oklahoma team. Give me Tulane there.
The green wave finds a way.
Notre Dame at Purdue. Battle of Indiana here. Minus 10.5, over under 45.5.
Notre Dame's 10.5.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd take Purdue. I'm scared of this game.
I don't think I'll bet this game. I don't think I'll bet this game.
I'm scared. I think Notre Dame pulls it out, but it's going to be 5 points.
Yeah, I'll go under, but I'm not betting that. Texas A&M at Florida. A&M favored by 4, over under 47.5.
Yeah, Florida hasn't shown much. Yeah, Texas A&M.
Yeah, give me A&M minus 4. After Florida screwed me week 1 against Miami, you will not catch me putting money on Florida for the rest of this year. Last 3:30 game I think we care about. West Virginia at Pittsburgh. West Virginia minus 2.5, over under 60.5.
I would take West Virginia.
Give me Pitt, man. Give me Pitt in the points. They looked really bad in the first half against Cincinnati. They came back and made it a game. And did they win, actually? They did. They came back to win it. Resilient group. I think they could sneaky pull out this win at home. All right. Free money alert of the weekend. App State at East Carolina. App State minus 2.5, over under 58.5. I did it last week. I'll do it again, and I'm gonna parade around on Twitter about it. It's East Carolina money line, and that is free money this weekend, guys.
Yeah, East Carolina. I would take the under in this. I think. Yeah, I don't think you're scoring in the mid-20s for both, but definitely take those Pirates because at least they're going to give you opportunity to score because their offense goes up and down the field. They put out as many offensive possessions as possible, I think, in probably all of college football at this point.
Yeah, and I'll think they'll run the track around App State, kind of like Clemson was doing. Just offensively, I think we're just going to be able to move it. However, I couldn't tell you who I want to start at quarterback next week. I think it's still Jake Garcia, but man, he's got a problem throwing these interceptions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the App State game is the one where you test Hauser, but man, he's got to figure it out. Some of those were really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to start to wonder if he's like you and colorblind.
Maybe. Georgia at Kentucky at 7:30 on ABC. Georgia minus 24, over under 45.5.
This begins their little gauntlet, right? Isn't it Kentucky and then Alabama or something of that nature coming up? Some hard games.
Kentucky, Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, Texas.
Yep. Georgia wins, but I think that's a lot of points. I'd probably take Kentucky.
I will not. I'm going to take Georgia minus 24.5 until they give me a reason not to, or minus 24 until they give me a reason not to. And then we'll look at this one too. Colorado at Colorado State. Colorado was favored by 7.5. Over under set at 58.5.
Colorado State. I would probably take money line. They're going to be up for this one.
Yeah, this game was crazy last year. Remember that one? That was a nuts game. That was like 47-45 or some shit. I think you take the over, and low key, I could get behind Colorado State money line. Dude, Colorado's just going to be in shambles, and people want to hype this up and everything. But the biggest thing to me that worries me about Colorado is we are on week 2, and you've got Shedeur Sanders complaining about the 5 guys in front of him already, calling out. He was asked after the game, why was Raiola able to have such a good, offense and be able to run the ball and pass? And he's like, well, how many times did Raiola get touched? I don't care if you think you're right or not. You cannot fucking say that as the starting quarterback on week 2, man. You cannot. They're going to have some locker room problems a lot earlier this year than they did last. And Colorado State money line.
And I think when you look at a couple programs here, which is take Clemson and Colorado heavy in the transfer portal, very heavy, which obviously needs to be done because we haven't had recruiting classes. You came in, 2 years ago. You're trying to use your big name standards to get, players right away. But yeah, I think it's going to I think Colorado needs to have some type of identity in a recruiting class instead of just the transfer portal.
Yeah, absolutely. And start to develop guys with developing guys like that. Not only are you going to, see them grow and hopefully let them develop with a team for 4 years, but then you develop the team chemistry in the locker room that they're not going to be able to do through this transfer portal completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what they're going to need if they want to ever turn this around with Dion there. All right. Well, that's all the games I got. You got anything else about college football? Anything
I have nothing about I have nothing. I have one other little thing, and you're probably going to say, well, I don't care. But this surprised me, and I saw this Twitter or something. Alex Morgan retired.
Yeah, she did retire.
Soccer.
It was nice. She was playing the NC Courage, too, in the last game. I saw that. I saw the whole video about it and everything. Cool little walk-off.
Yep.
It was nice
taking off the boots.
Yeah, and it was cool to see, the respect. The whole Courage team was lined up there, like at midfield. You're watching a legend walk off the field. So that was cool. It was a cool moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But all right, that's all we got. And this is going to be perfect timing. We can go and get ready to see a Deebo Samuel touchdown with this game starting in about 15 minutes. Like we were saying earlier, make sure to follow us over on the social medias and stuff if you're not already keeping up with our picks throughout the week. We've been doing this for like football, so I don't think we'll have anything. We're not going to force a play in baseball in September, on Tuesday and Wednesday to have a pick. But we'll be back on Thursday for the Thursday night game with a best pick, and we'll most likely be doing this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll have picks for you because we're going to have football games, whether it's college or NFL, all throughout the weekend because we are in the best time of the year with one of the best sports back. And I'm so excited. This was awesome. It was perfect yesterday. Just being able to sit down, watch the first half of the Pats game, then hit the bar, drink some beers with the buddies, and just have 8 NFL games on the screen at once, and being able to look up and just see all of my fantasy teams just absolutely shit it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for good luck with the bets next week. Need to make back some units. Too much volume this week. Got too horny for NFL. But also, fantasy teams. I know you're not listening to me, but guys, we gotta pipe it down. We gotta get back to what we need to do because I cannot take another 0-6 week in fantasy. I might end up just deleting the sleeper app if that's the case. So, anything else to add here before I wrap us up?
No, I don't. Thank you, newbies, for continuing to listen.
Yep. Thank you guys for listening to episode 36 of A New Era podcast. We will catch you next Monday morning at our regular upload time for episode 37.
Love you, son.
Love you, Dan.